The Fallow discloses simple modification that makes BDJB exploit compatible with PS5s up to firmware 7.61. It's alive. Hacker the Fallow has taken to Twitter to announce how a slight modification of his BDJB exploit allows to run the hack again on PS5 firmwares up to 7.61 included. The vulnerability involved in this modification has been allegedly patched in firmware 8.00 by Sony. BDJB exploit running on PS5s up to firmware 7.61. If you're the owner of a PS5 with a Blu-ray disc on firmware 7.61 and below, you're probably in luck. As it appears, a minor modification of the Fallow's BDJB exploit allows the hack to run again up to firmware 7.61. It was initially believed that BDJB had been patched around PS5 firmware 5.00, but the hacker had mentioned this revival back in September this year, so this is not a surprise in itself. But today the Fallow has published the details of the modification. This means native PS5 code execution on firmware up to 7.61 should now be possible. However, this is not a kernel exploit. To be crystal clear, we're talking of user mode execution here, and the PS5 kernel exploit remains reserved to firmware 4.51 and below. Nonetheless, the BDJB exploit could prove to be resilient and used again as an entry point for future PS5 jailbreaks if a new kernel exploit is ever disclosed. As a reminder, the Fallow has mentioned he might have something in store for us on that front, but that is yet to be disclosed. Try the BDJB exploit on your PS5 up to firmware 7.61. You will need a PS5 running on firmware 7.61 or below, and of course, as the exploit relies on a series of flaws in the Blu-ray layer of the console, it needs to be a disc model. Please note that I have personally not tested this yet. The exploit needs to be burned onto a Blu-ray disc. You can find Blu-ray burners for reasonably cheap on Amazon and other retailers. The Fallow has specified in the past that he used rewritable verbatim discs in his own tests. This is wonderful news for everyone who has a PS5 with firmware below 7.61. That's why I tell you, if you want to have a PS5 with the jailbreak, do not update. Well, I hope you like this news, so don't forget to give me a like, it costs you nothing, and please subscribe to my channel so you can find out about everything that is happening with the PS5 and PS4.